Hey guys, well, it appears Apple might actually be thinking about making its own AI search engine. Now, this is actually a pretty intelligent move if you think about it. As much as Apple hasn't really been in the AI race, there is very good reason for them to do this, and for them to do it now, and to do it, well. The the thing of it is that Apple has kind of been lacking behind in the AI race, but a a small sliver of opportunity is kind of opening up for them. And I think if they do it right, they might actually succeed in this. I'm going to go ahead and cover it in today's video. Let's get right into it. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and cover this admittedly kind of vague article from TechCrunch. Apple might be building its own AI answer engine. Apple has formed a team to build a ChatGPT-like app, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. And generally anything Mark Gurman says is kind of taken to be gospel around the sort of Apple news scene. Anything Bloomberg's Mark Gurman says 99% of the time is true, and it is absolutely hilarious. The amount of times this guy has gotten stuff right is genuinely impressive. So his word to most people interested in what Apple is doing behind the scenes is kind of taken as gospel, because it's so he is surprisingly accurate. So if he's saying this is happening, then it is happening. This team, reportedly called Answers, Knowledge, and Information, which is probably the most vague name you could give a team like this, is working to build an answer engine, which can respond to questions using information from across the web. This might be a standalone app, or provide search capabilities in Siri, Safari, and other Apple products. Gurman also notes that Apple is advertising for jobs with this team, specifically looking for applicants who have experience with search algorithms and engine development. While Apple has already integrated ChatGPT into Siri, a more personalized AI-powered update to the voice assistant has repeatedly been delayed. Apple might also have to alter its deal with Google, the search engine deal with Google, as a result of the latter company's antitrust defeat. Now, here's the deal. Number one, they kind of failed initially with trying to bring an AI-powered update to Siri. They completely fumbled that. Apple Intelligence, that whole concept, that whole thing, that was completely fumbled. Nobody used it. It kind of sucked. A lot of its features didn't really work well. At the end of the day, its implementation was lackluster, to say the least. And that is kind of the fault of Apple to a certain degree, and they've done a whole bunch of internal restructuring and a lot of different things behind the scenes to try and improve. But one thing I will say is they do have a window of opportunity. The thing of it is that people still have decent experiences with Siri. Apple's iPhones are kind of the number one product out there for smartphones. They have the market dominance, just worldwide, and Apple, I think, is still one of the most valued companies in the entire world. You would think Nvidia would be, but no, I'm pretty sure it's still Apple. So a lot of people know what a Siri is. And one thing I think they might be doing is they might capitalize on the fact that Google is going to be struck down sooner rather than later. They did have an antitrust defeat. They have been marked as a monopoly. The US government is still trying to figure out what to do with Google, because it's kind of a hard monopoly to break up and moderate, because it's so tightly conjoined with the US populace. I don't know how it's kind of on par with the breakup of AT&T in 1984 or something like that. It's kind of on par with that, because AT&T was the monopoly back in the day that was so big it was really, really hard to break up, and it took 3 different attempts to actually get it classified as a monopoly and broken up. It took 3 separate attempts. And the thing of it is that everybody used AT&T, everybody used Bell, everybody had like a Bell company in their state. They paid them. It was kind of just the thing. It was kind of too big to break up, yet they did. After some trial and error, they eventually did. I think this is kind of on par because Google is as integral to our lives as AT&T was, if not even more than AT&T was. I think it's actually even more integral now. And that kind of makes it difficult. But I think what Apple kind of sees here is a window of opportunity to be like, hey, if Google might not have the search engine dominance anymore, what if we get into the search engine game? And it might work. Inevitably, Google might be forced to stop like making these sort of browser deals with Apple anyways and other manufacturers. So even then, they might just have to make something out of the situation because Apple, it's entirely possible that the courts, and I think they have thought about this, it's entirely possible that the courts might rule that Google can't make search engine deals with manufacturers to make Google the default. It's possible. Which means now Apple would be in a position where it's like, okay, we're not getting this income from Google, so why should we prioritize Google? We can slipstream ourselves in. We could make our own search engine. We could make a Siri branded or whatever search engine, and people would use it. We could integrate it into Safari. We could make it a standalone website, and it would gain traction. It would gain traction fast. A lot of people use Apple products. So if you just make it the default, people are going to use it. People are going to use it fast. Apple is probably one of the companies who would probably be best suited right now to make a search engine that people would probably actually use. I think a lot of the reason why people don't really use something like Bing is just because at its core, Bing just isn't really that good. It's not even the fact that I think Google doesn't necessarily have like I don't even think it's an issue of Google having dominance. I think the issue with Microsoft's Bing and their attempt at making a search engine and making it the default is the fact that it's just kind of always been eh. I think Apple actually has a better opportunity to kind of win at this technique because they do know how to make a good product. And they have been making good products for the past forever now. So if they wanted to make a good search engine, they could, and potentially it could be a better one than Google. So with that in mind, you kind of just have to wonder and think if this is what they're going to do. And you know what? Honestly, it could make sense. It could propel them back into the AI game. They could be up there with the likes of Meta and Google and OpenAI and Anthropic. They could be up there. But it's just all a matter of where they approached this problem. And I don't know. I think this could be something good. But I hope they don't fumble it this time. Because the last time, they just completely failed. Like, I'm going to just say it outright. The last time Apple tried to do anything in the AI space, they completely failed. They missed the shot just completely. It didn't go well, and I don't think it ever would have. There's so many factors that were going on at Apple at the time. Changes of management, changes of practices in a way that the company had never done before, and in a field that they never really ever looked into or cared about up until now. And it all just kind of came crashing down, and it provided a very half-baked product that didn't really get the market dominance Apple hoped for. I just hope there's no repeat of that situation, because I think Apple is starting to realize that they can't afford to screw this up, because they already screwed up their AI division once, to the point where they had to completely scrap a self-driving car project. Apple Intelligence became a half-baked mess that got memed on to like an excessive degree. Management entire managerial teams had to be fired and things had to be reorganized. Like, the amount of capital Apple put into their initial, like, foray into the AI industry was ridiculous. They lost so much money. So this next attempt better be worth it, because they're up against a pretty serious team. If they got it right before, they probably would have been in a better position now. But right now, they are in a tough position because, like, let's think about this for a minute. Right now, the AI industry has gotten even more competitive. Meta is going nutso right now, and with Mark Zuckerberg, who I like to call the AI boogeyman, is hiring up anybody he can and spending billions just to get a team of people, like spending billions just for minds. That's how far he's going. He even poached OpenAI's people, Anthropic's people, Google's people. He poached so many people. OpenAI is trying to ramp up its game to match Meta's. Anthropic is kind of weaving in and out in different sectors. All the while, there's like defense industry stuff with all of these companies, big contracts. It's getting more and more competitive now. And if Apple had succeeded in this and excelled in this, they might have had a chance to potentially, like, secure dominance in the AI race. They really might have. But right now, they're just kind of in a rock and a hard place. Like, it's not looking too well for them. So I really hope they do this right, because if they don't, then they might just lose out, because this industry is getting way tighter than before, and getting a good entry into this industry is going to become harder and harder, because this battle is getting more and more competitive as time goes on. Getting entrance into this industry and securing a place in it is going to be way harder. Way, way harder, because your competitors are going to be, like, doing the craziest stuff to get ahead. So I really hope Apple knows what they're doing, because this next attempt might make or break them. That is about it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Take care of you guys, and remember to stay safe out there.